Hey, what's up everyone and welcome to another video. In this one we will discuss bag and inventory management, so without further ado, let's get right into it. So first off, I'm going to show you a short clip, then I will give you my 2 cents on what was discussed and I will elaborate further, so let's get to it.
Portable holes, which are 3,000 gold each, but putting 12,000 gold aside, ready to replace all your bags with 24 slot bags during the pre-patch, is going to be a good thing. Because having big bags when you're leveling in Wrath is going to be a good thing. You're going to get lots of things that you're going to be scared to vendor because you're not sure, are they going to be useful, are they not? So just having massive bags, got to be done.
Alright, so in the clip it is advised that you should be putting aside 12,000 gold in order to get 4 portable holes as soon as they are available, whether it's in the pre-patch or when the expansion itself releases. And it's not bad advice by any means, it's not good advice for everyone. I mean, if you are extremely wealthy, this is going to be the best investment in terms of bag and inventory, because the portable holes, if I recall correctly, are going to be the biggest bags that you can get throughout the whole expansion, therefore getting them as soon as they come out will greatly benefit you. But when I talk about being wealthy, I'm talking about, like, I know players that are spending at least 10,000 gold weekly on their alts and their mains in GDKPs, and I mean that's probably even higher than that. For those players, yeah, it's like Bill Gates dropping a stack of $100 bills. He just keeps going and after a few minutes doesn't even worry about it, and he doesn't even think about it anymore. Kind of the same thing for those players. A couple weeks down the line, they won't even remember spending 12,000 gold just to get 4 bags. But it's not everyone that has that kind of money. I'm pretty sure most of the player base has a net worth of raw gold of about 10 to maybe 20, 25,000 if we really stretch it. Therefore, is it going to be a good idea to spend most of your net worth, or roughly 50% of your net worth if you're relatively rich for a more middle class player? I don't think that this is a good idea. Rather than doing this, you can go for the next best thing, which would be the Gigantique bags. The Gigantique bags, rather than being 3,000 gold for 24 slots, are 1,200 gold for 22 slots, so a much better ratio of gold per slot. And what's very cool with those is that you have some players advertising them in trade chat and in world chat, and they are selling them for a lot less. I've seen them as low as 1,050 gold and even 1,025 gold. Therefore, you can save a lot more money while still getting a very decent setup of bags. And I mean, even if you pay them 1,200 gold because you buy them right away from Harris Bilton, well, you can save over 7,000 gold compared to buying 4 portable holes. And that 7,000 gold can be put elsewhere, because think of all the gold that you will need going into Northrend. You will need to level up your skills, level up your professions, buy cold weather flying, buy eventually if you want dual specialization. Then if we get into more expensive items, you have the Kirin Tor ring. Even if it's not necessarily pre-biz for your class, it's very cool because it has a Dalaran teleport integrated with it, so you can set your hearth elsewhere. And if you are an engineer with your teleport trinkets, you can move around the world very nicely and quickly. Therefore, you're almost like a mage in terms of worldwide movement. Therefore, it's very cool, but that's like 7,000 to 8,000 gold or so, depending on your reputation level. And not to forget the Darkmoon Fair card Greatness, which is a massive trinket that can be used by basically everyone, depending on the class or spec that they play, so a lot of people will want it. Therefore, the supply and demand ratio will make it very expensive. Then if you want to get a mount when you hit level 80, well, you have the Megjinir's Chopper. Well, that right there is at least 12,500 gold, because that's just for the materials that you need from the vendor in K3. Then you need to add the Titan steel bars and etc, so it's quite an expensive mount. Or if you want the Traveler's Tundra Mammoth, that again, depending on your reputation level, I think it's between 16 to 20,000 gold. Therefore, you know, savings that 7,000 gold right off the bat if you want to invest in bags is going to make a big difference long term, okay? So definitely think about that. Now, if that's not an option for you, you can go with smaller bags like 20 slots and 18 slots, but you should at least have, I would say, a full set of 16 slot bags, because the Traveler's Backpack are like 5 to 10 golds on the auction house. Now, if that is not something that you can afford, spending a few hundred golds on bag, well, you have other ways to benefit from a lot of inventory space, and the first one would be to create your own guild on an alt. Basically, it can be very cheap if you have friends that help you, because to create a guild you need to pay like 10 silver for a guild charter, then you need to sign it, or you need 9 signature rather, so you can have friends help you with that. Or if you don't have a lot of friends, you can pay like 5 gold for any signature, and so you can get a guild created very quickly. Then you will need to spend 100 gold to get a full bank tab, and then the subsequent ones will be more expensive. The second tab is 250 gold, etc. But at least, you know, for 100 gold you can get 98 slots, so it's a very, again, good ratio of gold for inventory slots, and those are permanent, and it allows you to, you know, have a lot of slots in one place. Therefore, if you are stockpiling materials for power leveling a profession or something, it can all be at one place, and it's very cool and convenient. Then if you're really trying to save as much money as you can, well, instead of buying a second tab, you can always create another alt and create another guild, and buy another tab for 100 gold for the same amount of slots. But, you know, at this point you will see what fits your budget and your playstyle better. Now, last but not least, which is basically the big point and what I want to talk mainly in this video, is the mailbox strategy. If you don't have a lot of gold at all, basically you're broke, or you really want to save as much money as you can, you have a strategy that you can use to your advantage to really benefit from inventory space that is available to you via the mailbox. So what you need is, it's very simple and it's available for everyone. Basically, you need a main, you need an alt, and you need a mailbox. The alt can be anything from a level 1 character with only a starting backpack, a heartstone, and a little stack of beef jerky or whatever food that you start with, or it can be max level character that you will be raiding on regularly, or anything in between. So as you can see, the requirements are very low. And as far as the mailbox is concerned, it can work from any mailbox in the world, but obviously if you are in a capital city, it's going to be better because you will have access to the guild bank, the auction house, etc, etc. But basically the strategy is very simple. What you want to do is, whenever you're playing on your main, you're farming or just enjoying the game, and you stumble across items that you don't want to vendor because you understand that they have intrinsic value, either right now or later on, you know, it's grains that you want to disenchant later, etc. Well, you send all of those items to the alt that we talked about. It's not taking any space in your alt's inventory. It will stay in the mailbox for up to 30 days, which is the whole point of the strategy. And I mean, that's very cool, because after that 30 days timer expires, well, the mail will be sent back to the original sender, and in this case it's going to be your main. And again, you will have another 30 days before the mail disappears. So for that strategy to work well for you, you will need to be organized. Okay, this is very important. So send all of the same types of items together. So all the cloth together, all the ores, all the green items to disenchant together, etc., all the consumes. You don't want to mix and match everything, because then if you're looking for something specific, it might be a little bit harder to retrieve in your alt's mailbox. So the more organized you are, the better it's going to be for you. And you can even push it a notch and just send all of the same types of ores together, for example, all the iron ores, etc. I mean, it really depends on how OCD you are, but be at the very least somewhat organized, and it will work well for you. And what's very cool is that if you need the items earlier than the 30 days, well, you can just log on to your alt and then return the mail at no extra cost. And the cost of sending the mail is very, very low. It's like 30 coppers per slot, meaning that if you send one mail with 12 mail, with one item, or one mail with and you pack it with 12 items, it's going to cost the same 3 silver and 60 copper. Therefore, you don't need to send full mails all the time, so keep it nicely organized and it will work well for you. The only problem that you could run into by sending a lot of mail is that you will fill up your mailbox very quickly, and it would be the same scenario when you're buying a lot of a single stacked item, for example, on the auction house. You can get an internal mailbox error, so you will need to take a few mails out of the mailbox, wait for it to refresh to access the mails that were sent earlier, but you rarely run into that problem. and I've never actually ran into that problem myself. But it is a very cool strategy, and the only last point that I want to talk about is that when the mail comes back to your mains mailbox, you still have another 30 days before it disappears completely and you lose everything. Therefore, when that timer reaches 10 to 7 days left, I would say just take everything back into your mains inventory. Then if you don't need any of the materials just yet, just send it back to the alt. You know how Murphy's Law is going to work, Blizzard is going to get DDoSed, they will have unexpected maintenance, you will have stuff happening in your personal life that will prevent you from logging the game at the time that you need to retrieve your mail, and then you're going to lose hundreds, if not thousands of gold worth of materials. So just keep that in mind, and that's basically it. It's a very cheap but viable strategy that you can start using right away. So that's all for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you've been watching up to this point, thank you very much for your support. Click the like and the subscribe button with the little bell so you know when I upload content. And we will see us very soon. In the meantime, have a good one, and most importantly, stay blessed.